Recording in progress. I love her.
Do you?
I'm trying to be her when I grow up.
I can't see you as a voice actor. like an AI voice, whatever.
Could you imagine?
With your fucking Staten Island like ass.
Oh my God. Recording in progress.
Truly. Okay. Well, we're back.
Did you
Welcome
miss
back.
us? If you did, that's sad for you.
Yeah. That's the first recording back since what did we say? August is when we started recording. I'm in a mood. This one has known that I've been in a mood for a while. We had a moment last week. I'm not getting into it, but I had a moment, a 2 hour moment last week.
It was truly beautiful.
No, yeah, we can. I don't want to get into details, but I do very much no. I'll open this with some gratitude, if you will. I very much do love you. It's so, and I'm very grateful and appreciative of you. So there's yeah, and whoever's listening, Jesus, I don't know how you stuck around for like 2 minutes, but thanks for sticking around. But also like, okay, now I'm also very delusional today. I've had a morning. So like this is unhinged as it gets right now. It's been 2 minutes. But no, I'm just gonna say, like, even like just this podcast and everything is just like a diary for us.
Literally.
This isn't for any monetary gain. Like, so yeah, obviously we're talking about stupid shit, but shit like this too happens. So again, I love you very, very much.
All the time.
Okay, so this morning, Haru ate human Filipino food yesterday. So I was not home when this happened, but he ate like I don't know, like half a plate of something. And I'm like, great, this fucking sucks. Because I know how sensitive his stomach is. So I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. Something's gonna happen. So he woke me up at 2:30. I fell asleep at 1. I was like, motherfucker. And he doesn't go to the bathroom like in certain spots, but I like fucking made him. I was like, I'm
not walking over there, you'll go here.
I'm like, you're gonna go fucking right here, dude. I was not having it, but it still took him forever. So then I was awake, and then I fell asleep for like half an hour. He woke me up again. I was like, I want to kill you. I was awake for like every other hour from like 2:30 to 8. I wanted to kill him. He's now you can tell he's now fine. He's sleeping.
Oh, poor baby.
I'm like so tired. Like I literally took off from work this morning. I put myself out of office. Like I'm no one. I have limited.
My dog had the runs. I'm not coming in.
I was like limited availability. Y'all can just like text me if you really need me. I'm so tired. Like I can't like. And now he's fine. I'm like I can't stand you. I can't stand this dog right now. So I'm like, oh. So today I'm like tired. I'm super tired. And of course, this week, I don't know if you saw my calendar, I have so many things this week. I have a dinner tonight. I have a concert tomorrow. I have a lunch the next day. And then I have dinner the next day. And then Friday, I don't think I have anything. And then Saturday, I'm going to Brittany's for the first time. So I'm like, dude, like last night would have been the night for me to actually like sleep.
Yeah. And Haru said, fuck you.
Honestly. Yeah, he was like, sorry. And now he's fine.
And now he's fine. That's how it goes. That's always how it is.
Yeah, he has some rice in him and now he's fine. I'm like, whatever. Go sleep.
Poor baby.
Yeah, so that's my morning. So I can't function right now.
No,
not at all. But how are you?
I had a new therapist today.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's get you caught up.
Yeah, here's my hour-long stand-up comedy special.
Here we go. She said I was funny. I was like, I win.
No, again, no one wins in therapy.
No one wins at therapy unless your therapist confirms that you're really funny. Then
right,
you win a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, Maria texted me early and was like, oh, like I'm ready, whenever. And I was like, no, I'm gonna need the hour. I'm gonna need some time because she came in and was like, bam. I was like, all right, we're gonna be good. Okay. She gets it. And she's kind of like, so, okay. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm borderline agoraphobic. I like don't like to leave the house if I don't have to. And then even when I do have to, like so if I ever leave the house, I'm in the waiting until I have to leave the house. And then about a half hour before leaving, I spiral fully and I'm like, I'm just gonna cancel. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. And then I am sick all day leading up to the point when I have to leave the house. Doesn't matter for what. Doesn't matter if it's close. Doesn't matter if it's far. Like I can't do it. I was going out to dinner the other night and it's 5 minutes from my house. And still, right before we left, I was like, what if we just don't go? Like, what if we like instead, like, let's just not. I can't leave the house. And she's like, okay, I'm not gonna, challenge you because I was like, listen, I straight up like won't do stuff. Like, I have a really great idea. I'm like, that was a really great idea. I'm not going to do it though because there's no value in lying in therapy. So I'm not gonna pretend I'm gonna do something that I know I'm not going to do. My poor last therapist wanted me to like leave the house. She was like, what if we like do this? And I was like, that's a really great idea. I'm not going to. No. This new one is like, okay, well, how do we work with it? Is it a can't or a won't? Your nervous system is like trying in overdrive to protect you from things. So let's figure out how we can work with it. You've embraced the anxiety and accepted its place and you work with it instead of fighting against it. So like, let's see what we can do with agoraphobia for that. I was like, oh shit. Okay. Okay.
That's a different thought process for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like
Okay.
this because like I, was so willing to embrace and work with anxiety, but like, why am I so aggro against the agoraphobia?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, yeah, like you're fighting it. And it's like your nervous system is going into overdrive then to protect you because there is a fight occurring internally. So why not work with it? I'm like, oh,
I
okay,
can't even process what the fuck that even means.
okay.
But I mean, at least you have a therapist that is willing to work with it.
Yeah, she was like, address, can't or won't when you are able to,
Uh-huh.
can you not leave the house or will you not leave the house?
And then adjust
What's
accordingly.
happening? I'm like, oh, damn, okay. I was like, because I can passenger princess almost anywhere. Like you could really just show up, tell me to get in the car, and I'm like, okay. And like,
Yeah.
I'll just go wherever. Like, no problem. Let's just go. But like, if you're like, okay, like you have to drive to this point and then we'll do that. I'm like,
Yeah. No, you know what? Never mind. This isn't off. We'll talk about this offline.
okay.
Like, oh wait, shit.
um,
Hold on, my wires just got all fucked up for 1 second.
oh,
I just pulled this wire. Hold on. No, I just don't want to get into specifics, obviously.
okay.
Okay,
But
go
so I
ahead.
was like, that's fun. Okay. I will try to fix. So like tomorrow, a book comes out. And I want to go get it because I have it ordered, but Amazon's like, okay, it'll be here Wednesday. I'm like, okay, but it comes out Tuesday. So like, what do you mean? Like, great. Store's open at 9, so I guess I'm going to a store to buy the book because I have to read it. And I'm like, okay, like I gotta figure out like how am I gonna do this? Like, how am I gonna hype myself up to go? And it's like, I need to fulfill this need. So like I need to go get the book. Like it is a 10-minute drive. And like I have to just make myself get up, go do it, get back. Like that's it. Um, and she was like, okay, well, apply that to like other situations when you can. Is it, address like is it the length of the drive? Is it the route that you have to take for the drive? And like often like those are the issues. It's like, okay, well, like this is a straight shot down the road. So like I could, but then comes into play, like I want to go to ShopRite by myself and like go grocery shopping and like get what we need for the house. Cause like that's my whole job now. And like I can do that aspect of it, but then I get to the store and like there's people
Mm,
and I'm like, can't do it now. Now
mm.
I can't do it. So like there's like 9 different things at play for like each scenario. And she was like, okay, well, like look at those and like break them down and see how you can like address them, change them if you need to, or like what you need to do with them. She was like, she's like, you have a lot of like gratefulness for like everyone else's like grace with you, but like why don't you have any grace with yourself? I was like,
This is literally what I was gonna say offline. But okay. I mean, you're bringing it up now, so maybe we'll just talk about it here. I don't know what to tell you. Because again, like somehow tying it to my gratitude comment in the beginning, I know you're super grateful for everyone around you. It does really take a village to really raise you. Everyone's still growing up, so we're also raising each
I'm
other.
baby. It doesn't matter. I'm always the oldest in every group, and it doesn't matter. I'm baby.
So again, I know how grateful you are, and I'm sure you know how much it affects people. Like
Absolutely.
I know that. Like we're all aware of that, I'm sure, the people that are close to you. So of course, like, and again, this is also my own mental illness in my own way. Like, we don't understand the reciprocal point of that. Like, it doesn't, why give myself grace? Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't
because
make
like I don't
sense.
deserve it. You know, I make everybody's life complicated and inconvenient because of me. So like I don't deserve my own personal grace.
Which is, again, it's a mental illness thinking, because you do need to be gracious to yourself. I can say that, but of course I'm not putting that to practice myself. So take that as you will. But I mean, to your therapist point, and even my therapist, it's the same. We're doing the same thing, but different,
Yep.
different wavelengths. Like, because it's very difficult. But as soon as it processes, then you can work on it. Because I mean, you know, it's difficult. Agoraphobia isn't like a fucking like walk in the park. Like,
Dude, it's
I
terrible. It's the worst.
and like I think I don't want to truly get into this, but I just didn't know how bad it was, me
Oh my
personally. So
God,
that's
it's so bad.
because of course, right? And I told you this. I went to therapy last week, and I spoke to my therapist about what we went through last week, and I was like, I just didn't know how bad it was, and I apologize. I'm also apologizing in public to you right now. But again, like I to my therapist's point, I'm not a terrible friend, and I have given you the grace of it. So
Correct.
I just didn't know how bad it was. As long as you're working on it, then no one can get mad at you.
I
Obviously,
mean,
no.
everyone can get mad at me and everyone should get mad at me. But like,
I
then
mean,
I
that's an
have,
offline
I'll
topic
say it
again.
online. I'll
I'll say
say
that's an
it publicly. I get nervous poops. And then I spend like the entire time, like before leaving the house, just in the bathroom, just sick to my stomach. Like I can't eat, I can't function, I can't do anything. Like once I get to the point, like that's fine, everything's great. But like it's the lead up and then the doing. And like my entire body, what did she call it? Dude, she fucking rocked my shit. She was like, your nervous system is simply trying to protect you
Yeah, it is. It
really
always.
hard. Your nervous system is working overdrive all the time to just protect you
Yeah,
from the things that you have told it you can't handle.
100%.
And I'm like,
And
oh.
you just have to, yeah, you just have to somehow override it to, because we're always in fight. You more than me. I'll say that.
I'm always in fight or flight. My entire exam, I'm exhausted all the time because I am just constantly in degrees of fight or flight.
Right. And it's, again, I'm working this in therapy. It's de-escalating the situation. Like, how bad is it really? I mean, this is me in my therapy. I'm not
Yeah.
preaching to you. This is just if anyone's listening and isn't going to therapy. It needs a sounding board, apparently.
Our episodes are always go to therapy. That's it. That's the main point
Yeah.
of every
Yeah.
episode. No matter what we talk about,
Yeah.
it's just go to therapy.
Yeah, with some humor here and there, apparently. But no, it really is de-escalating the situation and figuring out, like, okay, why is this happening, and for me, unraveling why the core point of this, because there was a time where I wasn't anxious or depressed. It has to stem from somewhere, and then once I unravel that, you know then it helps me with my thought process, because I have given myself the grace to figure that shit out with many of my relationships. I think they're much better than I was in my 20s. I mean, I'm not patient to begin with, but I think I'm more patient than I was when I was like 21. So, uh, again, but that's a lot of work. I'm 30. Like, from like 19 to 30, like, it does take a while. It does, and it's still a continuing thing, but I mean,
You never finish therapy. It's a constant work in progress.
It really is. There are instances where you think you don't need it, and it might be valid. That might be a valid thing. I just, it was valid for me for a bit, for a
Yeah.
year, but then I was like, oh no, like
Oh
I just
no.
didn't have the right therapist. And now, I'm in it for the long haul. It seems
The
like my
long haul.
my therapist wants me to talk about certain things like every week. I'm like, oh, I guess we're
Oh.
just got a
Oof,
continual thing every week then.
oof, oof.
So no, I think, give yourself some grace. I know that it's hard, like on other people. So why not just give yourself the grace to be like, oh, this is just fucking difficult and I should give myself
I'm sick.
some leeway. Yeah. It's okay. You
Because we
know.
were talking about, I was like, I could be worse. I could be at the introversion level that like I want to be at. And then like no one would be happy.
I yeah, because obviously, I mean, I have limits. Like you know that more than anyone. Like I again, it's a very big thought experiment for me with you on going through this. And now this is getting too personal.
This is too personal. Okay, we'll switch gears. We also
Because
talked about being in our
yeah,
30s.
yeah,
And okay,
let's go another route.
I'll share more stuff because I don't give a shit.
Me
I
too.
met my friend's baby
Oh, congratulations to your friend who I know of. Yes.
and I sobbed on the way home
Because
because like my brain and my body were like, you'll never have one of those.
oh
And
yeah.
like my brain was like, yeah, that's good. Like I don't like I could think of little worse happening to my life than having a human baby. Like there is little that I could find more terrible
Yeah, of
than
course.
that
Yeah,
situation.
but you still
And
can
like,
have
oh my God, I sobbed
you can still have that emotion though.
hysterics.
Yeah, no,
My body was like, you wish that was you, huh? And I was like, no, but like, I guess.
no, can I share my
Yeah.
literal same not I didn't sob. Literal same story. I went to, my friend's kid's first birthday. I also am in the same boat. I'm like, I'm never having one of these, but my God, I was like,
It like hurts. You're like, your whole biology is like
is
revolting and like,
yeah.
we
And
want
it's like,
one. And it's
yeah.
like, no, you don't.
It's
You don't
like
though.
it really is like it has the generational trauma or not trauma. I don't know, generational something and biology has to play into it because like I came from a big family, like and it was just instilled within me, even going through like, born and raised Catholic, like your purpose here is to procreate and like to have a big family and to see like, oh, and I'm close to my family, so it's like, oh, it's nice to have a big family and to have that. And of course, like cognitively and logistically and just logically and all that, I've made the choice a long time ago to not have one, but to still have that thought and that like it's really just that yearning and that like loss of
uh,
opportunity that we've given ourselves does, I mean, again, does suck, but is that going to change my opinion about actually having a kid? No, unfortunately not. But some people just pivot back, and that's fine too. But I'm not.
yeah, like if you thought you were child free and then you end up a fence sitter and then you want to have one, like that's okay. Like you can
That's
change your
totally
mind.
fine. Yeah. But I've
What
just
I
made.
don't appreciate is my biology being like, we changed our mind, and my brain having to be like, no, we fucking didn't. No, we did not.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it
You wouldn't
does.
survive it. No.
Yeah. No, it does. Again, it's 30. It's weird, but it's that's why I don't know. Like, it's weird. It's just weird because, again, we made this cognitive decision a long time ago, but then now it's like, but you're older.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
you do
like your
want it.
body's like, okay, but we're running out of time to do that. So like, are you sure?
But like, I don't. Again, I took.
And it's like, I'm very sure. Do you need a
Yeah.
fucking notarized letter? Like, what do you need
Yeah. I mean,
to
after
let this
decompressing.
go?
Yeah. After decompressing and, going home and, all this stuff. And I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Like, I won't physically touch her baby. I'm like, don't hand it to me. Don't. I
I
don't
tell my
know.
friend,
Don't hand
yeah,
it to me.
I told my friend, I was like, I love you, but please don't. I can't hold her.
You
And she's like,
cannot trust me with that. You
I was like,
can't.
but I'm like that aunt that will like, I'm just, I don't want them injured in any way. So I'm always like holding like the corners of tables around them and like very protective. Like I can be a good aunt. Like
Yeah.
that's like my role, I feel like in life. But to actually physically have one and to care for one, I again after thought, after the emotional release of that, like
I'm gonna be great when that kid's like 4. Like
yeah,
I'm gonna be great because I can like that is a size of a human that I can reasonably be trusted with. That human can also put its hands out if it's about to fall and catch itself. It can support its own head. A baby at that point, at 4 years old, can function now. Up
yeah,
until that point, I don't trust the fragility of a human, and I can't be trusted to hold a cup. Like when we get food anywhere, think about like you have to be like, no, Ashley does not get drinks. Don't hand me drinks because A, I might drop them. B, I might do it on purpose because my brain's just like, that would be fun. And
yeah,
like, I'm like, it wouldn't as I do it. I'm like, this
yeah.
isn't fun. And I'm upset now as I'm actively throwing the drink. And I'm like, well,
Whale shit.
who
It
won that
happened.
transaction? None of us, because now I don't have the drink and now I have to clean up a mess.
Right, 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 right. So
And my brain's like, baby, cup, same thing. I'm like, no, no, they're not the same thing. Please don't touch it. Please don't touch it.
yeah, because I have a similar where I'm like, oh, this is so fragile. I could just drop it.
Bah!
And like again, one of the many reasons that I also choose not to have a child is that God forbid that intrusive thought when I'm delusional and have 2 hours of sleep. I just gone out of
Yo,
my
this
head.
girl like did not sleep for like 28 hours and took care of a human infant. And I'm like, bro, I on 20 hours of sleep. I don't think
Yeah.
I could reasonably take care of a human
And
infant.
and you know what sucks too, and this will bleed into my dating woes, is that men really think that they can really change my opinion about that.
Bruh.
They're giving birth to the kid and actually taking care of
Like you do it then,
uh,
my guy.
right, like no. And I've always gotten the like, oh, you won't know until you know. I'm like, well, guess what? I'm never gonna
Guess
know.
what? I already know.
Guess what? I already know, and you're not at that level of closeness, and I'm gonna tell you why. So,
Just
um,
because men walk around with pockets full of fucking audacity.
they do, and I'll tell you this because I'm being more open with you. I am going on a date on Wednesday, that lunch.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we'll see how that
Ooh.
goes. But
Good
they do
luck.
have, thank you. They do have the audacity, like all of them.
All of them. They're just it's just built
It's
in.
just built
Like
in.
they're just born with fucking more audacity than they know what to fucking do with.
It's
And
really
they got
it's
opinions on shit
that they
that they
don't.
don't got to deal with.
Right, exactly. So I don't know. So we'll see. Because then the moment they're like, "Oh, I want a kid," I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't."
Bye.
And they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "I'm not changing my opinion. So if this isn't gonna work out, peace out." It happened like multiple times in my life already. So,
And like it while it's inconvenient, like you saw what happened to me by dating a
hmm
fence sitter. You saw what happens. You waste 7 fucking years in a
yeah,
situation and you're like, oh, I'll fucking start over again.
yeah.
And it's like, just be honest.
In
Like
the beginning,
and don't go into it hoping that you can change the other's mind or you'll change your mind. If you are not on the same page, you're simply not on the same page. Let it go.
and I mean that's what sucks about people. They think they can change people,
Bruh.
especially if they haven't gone to therapy. The only person
Like,
that you can change is yourself. Everyone. That just as an FYI. Like as much as you would like to change your family, your best friend, your acquaintance, your fucking coworker, it's not gonna happen. You're just gonna have to literally give them the grace of time.
you have to decide, like, is what I would wish to change about them like a non-negotiable or salvageable for me? And like if it's something you can work around, like great. And if it's not, then like just fucking cut ties and go.
Yeah, because it's really like the is time is of the essence. Like we're not here for long.
Like
Like,
why put yourself like why subject yourself to shit that like you don't want to deal with or like you're not okay with? Like just
trauma.
move on.
That's why this trauma. They don't know how to. Well, these people, I'll just generalize, don't know how to be, don't know how to talk without being confrontational. You know,
Ugh.
so they whatever they want, they think that they could just change out of the person that they're in front of
Yeah. No.
instead of like compromising and actually talking. And that's probably why. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna switch topics because this is also a new development within the week that we've spoken, which is crazy because Talk about life-changing thing to another life-changing thing to
Honestly.
I'm now on medication. Not
Wow.
mental, not mental. I should have prefaced that.
Um,
Well, one of them is for it, but it's not like Lexapro. It's literally just magnesium. Like
oh, okay, okay. That has a lot of fucking benefits and balances a lot of shit.
yes. So I'm on some supplements, and by supplements I mean magnesium. I might get stay off of. I have B complex, but I might not have that. But so I'm on that. I'm also on PCOS medication,
Yeah,
which
good.
I started yesterday,
Dope.
which is also I was having my body was okay. I wasn't like dying.
Yeah.
But I think because my anxiety of taking medication kicked in, I was like, it was like hot flashes. My liver started hurting. Though I was like, this is
Oh,
definitely not happening right now. Like this is in my head.
this is fake. Don't do this.
I've also had like I just hate like bodily pains
Yeah.
with internal. Like I can deal with like
Hmm.
scratch or whatever. Like, but if I don't know, I don't like that just freaks me out, which is a control thing, obviously. So like my heart started like hurting, if you will, but it's
Hmm.
just that whatever this muscle is, probably from the stress
Yeah.
of just like whatever pulling it. Um,
You probably have costochondritis.
we've talked about this. I probably
Yeah.
do. Like I went to the doctor to be like,
I
hey,
want
is
to
this
say
good?
every woman I've ever known, once they surpass the age of like 21, they're like, oh my God, I have chest pains. I'm like, it's literally costochondritis. And then they eventually go to a doctor, and the doctor's eventually like, it's literally costochondritis. And it's like your lungs are just inflamed because of stress. Every woman I've ever known is like, oh, I have a pain here. I'm like, it's costochondritis. You're literally fine. Feels like you're going to convince yourself you're having a heart attack. It's
I
incredibly painful. You
literally
can't breathe. And then you just have that, you know.
literally called my mom when I told you. I texted you like as it was happening. I was like, I'm calling my mom because I think I'm having a heart attack. And I had a fucking doctor's appointment the next day, and she was like, you're fine. I was
I was
like,
like, it's literally costochondritis.
um,
Everything is costochondritis.
yeah,
Any pain in your
apparently.
chest?
Yeah. So no, so my PCOS medication is actually a high blood pressure medication. We're just doing it off label, which is
Okay.
common,
Okay.
which will fingers crossed help me because I have
Love that.
genet well in two parts. One, my PCOS,
Yeah.
because it should lower all my levels down to a normal eventually. And number two, I my family does suffer from hypertension and high blood pressure and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So,
shocking.
so if this should help that too, maybe I'm also just making a cognitive effort of like doing this pre
Love
like
that.
pre
Love that.
whatever. And it's a diuretic, so like I'm like now peeing constantly. So that sucked yesterday when I took it and I went out with my mom and I was like, I literally just peed. I have to go to the bathroom again. So
I'm literally gonna pee my pants.
yeah, so that is, and of course my mother being a nurse was like, what are you taking? I was like, because I did not want to consult her. I was like, I'm going to the
Yeah.
doctor. Like, you're not in this.
Bye.
This is an AB conversation here. Because she was like, no, you know, I'm not even telling her I'm taking magnesium. Like,
No.
like, she's gonna be like, what are you doing? Um, but now she's like, you have to drink orange juice. I'm like, are you what? You have to drink all this water and orange juice. I'm like, okay, mom, whatever you say.
Okay. Thank you.
So that's also been happening to me this week. I'm on like supplements and medication now that I'm 30. I went
Now
from
that.
zero to like three
Mm-hmm.
all in like one
Mm-hmm.
week, and I was like, man, I guess
I guess.
whatever to keep me alive, I guess.
I
Which
was gonna
again
say, if
is
it helps, then that's all that matters.
yeah, because again, I'm in this for the long haul now, which is another thing that we talked about. So like, I don't
Crazy to address in your 30s.
know, and we don't talk about that as a society enough. For the kids that suffered and was like, I'm out as soon as I can, and now you've cognitively decided otherwise. Just like having a kid, like you've cognitively decided otherwise,
Yep.
that you're just like, well, what do I do now? Like now it's just like starting from zero. It's like a fucking rebirth, if you will. It's like, oh
Yup.
shit.
It's like,
That
oh damn,
sucks.
I like gotta
Yeah,
do things to like maintain this now.
right. And I'm
Before
just
I
like,
didn't fucking care because it was like, then I'll just leave. I'll just tap out.
right. And now it's like, oh,
But
okay. Fuck that. So, yeah, that's been my week in a nutshell, I think. Which has sucked, but it is what it is.
it's good though. It should be exciting.
Yeah. I got a haircut. I don't know if you noticed, because it's like fucking
Yay. Yeah, I can't see
I
shit.
can't see shit. And like I still don't know why.
Your
I
fucking blue light
assume,
behind you.
yeah, it has a blue fucking filter like I'm in the goddamn Twilight movie. Like I just don't understand. Like
I mean,
my
the weather is feeling like ho ho ho.
yeah, I know. Every time I step out, I'm like, why is this beat
Oh my
in
God, I
my
get
head?
dressed now and I'm like, ah, yes, thank you.
I get up and I'm like, I hate everything.
I can function so much better. I have to take the dogs out. I'm like, oh, it's cold. I have to put on two jackets. Oh, look at that
Yeah.
baby.
Oh, he just flopped on the floor. And he's
He
like,
got too hot.
yeah, he got too hot.
That's fine.
But I will say, though, this is a very, very small um sample size of days. It's been 3 or 4 days of magnesium. And like typically I would feel it physically, the depression. It's
Hmm.
just now just like in my head. Like I don't
Okay.
feel anything.
Yeah, that's good. Improvements being made.
It's that plus therapy, I
Yeah.
would assume is helping.
Combination of everything.
It's just getting older and well, getting older doesn't really do anything. Actually, it could be worse or better depending on your person. But um, yeah, I also don't know if it's any of these supplements I'm taking or the medication. Again, very small sample size, but there's nothing going on up here anymore.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
there's nothing pinging. No, I don't know if I should be scared of that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I'm just like, there's nothing going on right now.
As your body adjusts to any new supplements and any medications coming in, like you're going to see like brain delay because your synapses are changing and rewiring how they communicate with everything. So there being like less like chatter and less speed is expected, totally normal.
Yeah, because I'm just like, okay. I'm scrolling through like TikTok or like I'm working. I'm like, there's silence. What
There's
is
this
this?
silence.
Like, what is this? I actually do need white noise, as I was like having white noise just to distract myself from my
Yeah,
thoughts. Now I just
that's
need
good.
something. I'm like, what is happening? That's
Beautiful.
crazy. That's crazy. But again, we'll see. It's a very small sample size. So,
I made a choice when I was trying out different dosages of my medication that I could not live like that. And like I told my new therapist about that today. I was like, yeah, it's like we've tried a couple of different, doses. I'm sure you can see in the like
mm,
record, whatever. And I was like, I gave a couple of weeks on higher doses, and I found that I lost the constant chatter. I lost my communication partners, my decision making team, and I lost my sorry, it was above. I lost my mania.
uh-huh.
And so I immediately stopped that dosage because it just doesn't work for some people when you have lived your entire life. I remember being a young teen, like maybe I was like 13. And I like tried telling my mother, I think there's something wrong with me because like there's just constant conversations happening in my head. Like I'm not an active part of them. In fact, I'm being informed of things by them.
Hmm.
And like I like literally consult someone else. Like I view two separate entities. Like there is a lot going on. And
Mm.
like I was like, I think I'm unwell. I think I need to like go to like
Something.
a brain doctor that tells you you're fucking batshit. And I probably could have gotten diagnosed with like ADHD and anxiety at 13 versus 30
Yeah.
if she had told me, like, if she had taken it seriously and not been like, shut up. If she had not had the same mental illness and been like, that's normal.
Well, you know.
So
You know.
some people can't live without that. I am one of those people. I like mania. It works for me. I enjoy it. It keeps everything interesting for me. I'd rather be tired all the time and have constant chatter, because I found that silence, my depression skyrockets.
Well, that's what I don't know if I'm fighting that right now because I'm like, okay, it's too quiet. Like, I
But
don't.
like you're doing the right things with like having background noise, having white noise, and like finding that like your depression, as you said, like you're not feeling physical ailments of that anymore. You are just
4 days, guys.
4 days.
So
But
we'll
that's
see.
enough.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Because it's also it's at that point where it is getting colder.
Yeah.
So it could just be a good like the perfect storm right now where it's like not as cold. So like I could still be depressed in my normal state, but like I'm trying this medication and supplements out that like it's like, okay, this is like a little taste of like what's gonna
Little
happen.
taste of
But
what could
like
happen.
once it gets super cold and really dark out, we'll have to see, and we'll see if my body adjusts. But I mean, to your point, like we'll see, because that was I mean one of the fears I feel like of like getting well, whatever the fuck that means, is like you don't know who you're gonna be after that, or like towards that, or like during, post, whatever. So I don't know. I don't know because it's been so long, so I don't know.
I did not like who I was with anxiety removed.
Yeah,
I did not like her.
I mean to your point, then you know therapy can help you live with that.
Find
That's
that
all.
balance. That's all that you need. Find that balance. There's no rule that says that you
Have to.
have to be a certain way,
Yeah.
and that having anxiety or depression are wrong and are bad intrinsically. If they reach a point and push you to certain bad decisions, then like sure, not great, work with those, address them, lessen them, but that doesn't mean that you need to
Yeah.
get rid of
Get
them
rid of everything.
completely if they're an integral part of your existence. At that point, my anxiety is an integral part of who I am, because
And
it turns
that's
out
it.
without anxiety, I am just a walking ball of apathy, and the imposter syndrome just takes over. And it's like you don't actually have your own personality. You don't actually like anything. You are an amalgamation of everything you've ever seen or read. And I'm like, oh, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your turn. I like I don't know, it's different for everyone. I don't know. I don't know, people. Go to a therapist and
If
go
you
get
think you
your
don't need if you're listening to this and you're
yeah,
like,
and
I don't
like
need therapy, that's wrong. Wear your
like yeah,
medication. You need
that
therapy.
yeah, if you're entertained by this, like go seek help.
Therapy.
Go seek help. Like there's either in person or now online, like or text. People like text, like whatever.
Dude, yeah, whatever works for you.
I like don't go to Reddit and
Well,
have that be your therapist.
well.
I mean, you can go for advice. I'm not saying don't go to Reddit, but like go to therapy.
Don't put all your eggs in the baskets of 4chan and Reddit.
Because
They're not interested in helping you.
I have gone to therapy and been like, I saw a subreddit and talked it through in therapy. I'm not saying just go to Reddit. I'm saying go supplement it with an actual person to talk to you about it.
Go supplement it with somebody that has studied things
Yeah.
and can help you.
Just walk through your thought process.
One of the reasons I knew my new therapist would be fun and good for me
Did
is
you Google
because
them?
no, I never do. I don't give a fuck. Because like I'll go in with bias. Then I have to go in like I go into like a horror movie, no background, no knowledge. I've got to have no bias.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but like I made mention of, I was like, the inside of my brain is literally that Charlie Day meme where he's got the red string connecting everything and he's just screaming and unhinged and has just drank like an entire pot of coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was like, I tell my clients to like, just info dump, like however you've got to tell the story, if you've got to rewind, like whatever, like I'm going to be connecting the red thread to everything. She's like, it's going to be red conspiracy theory, like string all over the place. And I was like, thank you. Because that's how it is with me. Because to understand why I made the decision yesterday to do or not do something, you have to understand a story from like 4 years ago. You have to have knowledge of previous lore to
No,
be
yeah, yeah.
understand why I couldn't roll a fucking nat 20 in that decision and I rolled a 4 and needed
Yeah.
18. Like you need to
Um,
have all of this background to like understand this very specific instance. Like, no, I couldn't make the decision to do that because in 2012, this very specifically occurred.
Yeah, and that's what therapists do because I can, as soon as I say something that like triggers something, I see her writing. I see her writing. I'm like, I don't know what red line is connecting something, but then she'll say something, and I'm like, oh, well, motherfucker.
Well,
I guess you are doing your job properly. Thank you for
okay.
that.
Thank you for that.
But no, I mean, any one of our little decisions in life, I truly believe this, is because of the fucking lore that we gave ourselves and or was given to us. Like it could be the most, to some people, littlest thing, but to us it could be just like life or death in our brain.
Literally, the most inane interaction. I'm like, no, that's straight origin story. Like that's straight origin.
Yeah, that's like the new chapter of like your fucking third installation of the series. Like that's like
That's the prequel game that came out 3 games like in,
hmm
and you're like, oh shit, now I understand the first decision you made in the very first game in the first 5 minutes.
yeah, so again, neurodivergent people, like we're just it's hard out here without any help. So if you're mentally well, whatever that means in society, like good for you, I
If you're
guess.
mentally well, you're not here right now.
Exactly.
If
And
you're
that's
mentally well, you're not hearing this conversation. If you're hearing this
no,
conversation, take that as your hint that you're mentally unwell.
yeah.
Because there's nothing to be gained from this. This is literally just us talking shit about whatever the fuck we want. And why are you here?
Truly. I don't know. So that's 30 so far.
So that's 30.
Let's go to therapy part
I
2.
love being 30, honestly. I give
No,
so much less of a fuck about anything.
I as much as being 20 is like, oh my God, like I'm an adult. Like, when you're younger, you're like 20, like I can do it no, it's like the most
I'm grown.
unhinged.
No, it's teen part 2.
It's the most unhinged, chaotic, like life altering decade of your life. Like to your point, 30, I'm like more chill because like I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a
In
fuck.
like in like a better way than 20.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
like
Not like when I was an addict, didn't give a fuck.
not
But
like
like as an adult, that's like, why the fuck am I gonna put on like a nice outfit to go to the fucking store for 7 minutes to get milk? Fuck you.
yeah, like shit like that. Like it's
I no longer care as much for my perception necessarily. Like others' perception of me, I'm like, that's fine.
I still don't want to be perceived, so like that's an issue.
So I have made an acceptance that I have been my my character has been perceived in so many
Ways
fucked up
depending
feral ways,
depending on the person.
just depending on what store you've encountered me in. Who you've encountered in Target is not who you've encountered in Walmart.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like
Sure. Sure.
like who you've encountered, it is just is what it is. Like, you know what? If I was a fun fucking feral story for somebody where they're like, this fucking chick, this chick,
Yeah.
fucking, I turned an aisle and all I heard was, ah! And there's just a grown woman standing there. I'm just like, that was absolutely yes. But then there's like another person's perception of me that was like, oh, this very well dressed, like adult woman, like helped me and handed me something. And I'm like, also me.
I there's perception is a whole different thing. I haven't gotten into that in therapy because I still don't entirely understand how people perceive me outside of whatever, which is a
Direct
thing.
interaction.
Right. Like there's no way otherwise. Um, but yeah, I don't like enjoy when people perceive me, but I also don't care. So it's just like like I don't know. I don't know how that works.
It's like a level of like making peace with it because like who you are to you is not who you are to me, to your sisters, to, people at work, like to other friends. Like who you are is so environmentally dependent that like the perception of you is not the same from an individual to your mirror. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just nothing that you can do about that because, personal bias comes into play, from yourself, from others. And like, there is just, there's the written lore of like what composes you intrinsically, but like outside of that book of lore, like you just are an existence that is going to be perceived so wildly different just based on others' experiences and others' lore and how they, read your interactions and behaviors. And
Yeah,
like, there's
yeah.
just an acceptance in that for me that I'm like, that was really hard for me to live with when I was in my 20s
Mm-hmm.
because I
Mm-hmm.
very specifically had like a perception goal.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, honestly, like,
In hindsight, I can
I
laugh at
am
this.
what?
In hindsight, I can laugh at this. Yeah. Going through it, we had no idea what the fuck we were both doing.
Yeah. And like now I'm just like, honestly, I'm fine with my perception of me and the like six people I cares about perception of me. And beyond that, like, I don't mind being a story's villain. I don't mind, like, I know that I am the prevalent villain in a lot of stories for people. And I'm like, honestly, like, that is something that I have to make peace with and just be okay with. Hello, beautiful boy.
I
And
think,
it's
yeah, go
something I
ahead. Sorry.
struggled with for a really long time. And now I'm
Yeah.
just like, I
Yeah.
understand and accept that because there are people that play villain roles in my stories that, like, I'm sure they're not that person anymore. And like, if they
Yeah.
are, like, I'm sad for them.
I think I don't. So I hear you. That everything. I'm not discarding anything. I'm going to my own personal thing about perception right now because we both lived through that. So I don't care how, to your point, there are like a handful of people that like know me and like I know what they perceive me as to the fullest of my brain's capacity. And like that's fine because y'all know me. Like I if you don't, then that's on you at this point. I don't know what to tell you. But I just don't like again, and I don't care if you don't know me, but also like just don't even perceive me at this
Just
point.
don't
That's
perceive
that's
me.
that's
Don't
my
mention me.
keep my name out of your fucking mouth. No, but for real though, like I'm just like that's where I'm at with perception of me from outside people besides like the handful of people that I care about. Just don't even I'm not even here. And
I'm not even
I
here.
think that's just like a perception and existence thing.
Yeah.
That like I just don't fully my brain doesn't fully understand that again, I'm here for the long run. So that's where I'm at. I haven't brought that up in therapy because we're going through something else right now.
We're going through something else right now.
She
We'll
wants
get to that.
Well, she wants to talk about how I'm always saying I'm tired, and I'm like, I don't even know where that started. So, like, she's like, I want to dive into why you say you're always tired. I'm like, what does that mean? Because you tell me then, tell me the answer so
I don't
that I
know, babe.
can.
I'm tired. The fuck?
Yeah, how are you? I'm tired. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's like, I'm great. Like, no, I'm not great. I'm in therapy. Like, what do you want me
I'm
to
not
say?
great. I'm in weekly therapy.
I'm in weekly fucking therapy. Like, what do you want me to do? Just take my money and tell me what I have to do for next week. Oh my God. Oh, another thing that I'm doing for therapy and for my well-being. You know how we have those, I don't know if you have yours still, those light phones.
Yeah.
I am now trying to actively use those on Sundays
Okay. Oh, okay.
because the noise
Yeah.
of being connected all the time
Yeah.
also aids to many of my mental breakdowns, probably. So that has been a good point in therapy. She applauds my
Nice.
efforts. I tried it for 2 to 4 hours
Okay. Good.
and I was like, what do I do?
What do
What
I
do I
do?
do? I read a manga. That's what I did. I was like, okay, I can do this. Like I can do that. So therapy, being 30, doing all this. It's crazy.
It's
A
crazy.
lot of maintenance. So anything else?
I took a cool personality test thing the other day. It's
Hmm.
like super short.
Hmm.
Do you want to do it? It's like 3 questions.
Sure. Do you have the link? Do you want me to just Google it?
No, I'm just gonna say it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
You have the questions?
Do
Okay.
it internally. Like, don't
Okay.
say it out loud.
I have to then write this down because there's nothing in my brain. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Pick an animal.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Yeah.
Pretend that animal doesn't exist. Pick another one.
It doesn't exist, so pick another one. Is that what you said?
Mhm.
Okay.
It doesn't exist. Pick another one.
Pick a third one? I don't know any
Yeah.
animals. Okay. Okay. I don't know any animals. All right.
Okay. You don't have to share your answers if you want. I will if like to like
Sure.
do this if you want. Okay, so the first animal, that's how you want people to perceive you.
The fuck is an otter gonna do for me? Besides, that's like in the gay community.
The second animal is how people perceive you.
A dog.
The third animal is who you really are.
Okay, I said B, which is the only reason why I said B was because it was your favorite animal, and I literally Jollibee is right in front of me. I was like, that's the only animal I can think of right now. What was the third one?
How you're like who you actually are, like
I don't know what that
in
means.
like who you are.
Okay, all right. I've heard of these questions, but I guess I'll just look it up later.
So the honeybee personality is very practical and logical. The thought process is analytical and systematic. That means they have a specific way in which they feel things should be done. If it does not go as planned or does not go in this way, they feel it is wrong and they will tend to be moody.
All right, well that's fucked. Why is that me on point?
Otters are excitable, fun, seeking cheerleader types who love to be present for others. The otter's outgoing nature makes them great networkers. They usually know a lot of people who know a lot of people.
And what was the first? What was that?
That
How
was how you want people to
to
perceive
be?
you.
Oh, that kind of makes sense. It's fine.
And then a dog personality. The big five. It's extroversion, agreeableness, neurotic,
Mm-hmm.
anxiousness, openness, and excitable. That is how people perceive you.
Okay. I mean, I guess these are all valid in some ways. That's fine. I'll take it.
Mine
I'll take it.
was mine was I was so mad. I was so
Because it was
mad.
right. Because it was right. Yeah. Yeah, I can see.
Fox, wolf, and bunny. I was like, bro, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Just knowing the animals
I
and what they
was
represent.
so mad. I did it. I was like, okay, fox, okay, wolf, okay, bunny. And then it was like, okay, the first one's how you want people to perceive you. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, all
Yeah.
right, that makes sense. I want to be, smart, conniving, like whatever.
Hmm.
Second is how people see you. I'm like, that makes sense. Like whatever. And then the third is who you actually. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, which is why this is also true to um not to be a Harry Potter nerd. You thought you were a Slytherin, but no, you're fucking Hufflepuff. Like as much as you were and you
To
were
be
trying
fair, addict era was a
trying to be
Slytherin.
no, yes, no, but yes, agreed.
She
But
was
that
always a
wasn't
Hufflepuff.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were
Yep.
trying to be that,
She
but
was always a Hufflepuff.
yeah, it just happens to be that way. It makes sense.
I was so mad. I was like, honestly, fuck you. I have like two super cool animals. And I was like, yeah, badass, cool, like independent, like whatever. And then I was like, Benny.
That makes sense. I mean, mine kind of makes sense. Also, very telling that like I would just pick your favorite animal. Very telling of my character. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my
Very
god,
on brand.
it is. Um, anything else, or
That
is
was it.
that
We can end on that.
we can end on that?
Everybody, if you've listened, take the test yourself. I should have said to
Yeah,
pause it.
it's fine. I mean, if they had, you know what, it's whatever. It's fine. It is what it
It's
is.
fine.
Um, again, I'll just end it on gratitude. So thanks everyone for listening. If you are listening this
Thanks.
far, um, like, comment, subscribe, follow our Instagrams. You'd leave us an email. I would love
Yeah,
for
another
someone to fucking
Switch.
email us. Can you
It's
get
just
on
so
Reddit and be like,
funny.
can you go on Reddit and be like, can you just email us?
Can
Can
you
someone
just email us, please?
can someone just like just post on Reddit and be like, email this email address with anything you want. End of story.
End of story.
And yeah, we'll be back next week with the gameplay. Okay, bye. I'm done.
Okay, bye.